Welcome in, everyone. It's the Late Night on Campus. It's Friday, May 26, 2017. I am the big man on campus, joined with my partner this week, Peter Loshak. Peter, it's Friday, Memorial Day weekend here in the States. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Thought I had a winner with Cincinnati on the second half. Wound up getting a push. My other big play was Houston-Baltimore over. That's looking like a loser. 2 weeks ago, I had a great week in MLB. This week was not a great week in MLB, a loser, but that's okay. Masahiro Tanaka, I'm shocked by what happened there, although it looks like I'm going to get bailed out because it looks like Oakland will win, and looks like Oakland late is going to at least get a push on the team total over. I took the team total over 4 with Oakland, and Tanaka comes in, throws 7 shutout innings, and then the Yanks bullpen blows it and gives the game to Oakland and gives me a push on the team total over. That was a completely lucky result there. So, overall, doing okay. Not that great. I also had the over in Tampa Bay, Minnesota, and that's one looking like it's could still hit, but not looking great. Had the under in St. Louis, Colorado. That's looking good. So, overall, doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Peter. I'm definitely going to go on a little bit of a rant about the fucking Yankees tonight. I have something to say about that. Very irritating. We got a lot to do tonight, Peter. As always, it's our final show for the foreseeable future together. You filled in admirably this week for Donnie Wright. We're hoping we can do this again real soon. But I got some interesting things to talk about a little bit later, Peter. We'll go over the baseball card. No hoops tonight. No hockey. Strictly baseball, strictly diamond tonight. So I'm sure people are raring and ready to go. I wonder, Peter, when exactly are they going to play some? I guess they're playing one now, but so they postpone one of these White Sox games and they're playing another. Interesting.
Yeah.
Either way, an odd little thing there. But I'm waiting for the link here. For some reason, it's not tweeted out. I don't know why. But we will jump into everything here. If you're out there listening, welcome in. Peter, before we start, what was your low-hanging fruit play of the day?
Low-hanging fruit of the play was the Cincinnati second half, which, again, low-hanging fruit of the day plays, by definition, are just obvious plays that you don't have to think about too hard, and fading Philadelphia on the second half is often going to be just a no-brainer play because they don't have a good lineup, obviously. Their bullpen is horrific, and that one looked like it was going to cash until they put up 2 in the bottom of the ninth, but it still got a push. So, my low-hanging fruit of the days are still doing well overall. I got a push tonight, and it's just been kind of a like in WNBA before tonight. I was 12-3 ATS. After tonight, I'm 12-5 ATS. So I had 2 losses tonight in WNBA as well. I had the Washington plus 8.5, and they opened at 10.5. I got them at 8.5, and they wind up winning, but losing by 9. So I got a bad number on that one. I wound up paying for it. So overall, I'm just not having the greatest week, Jeff, from DMOswins.com. I'm sure you know what that's all about, right?
No, I do. I had some of those weeks a couple of weeks ago, Peter. It passes us all by. It's always something that's going to happen. Next week's another week. Tomorrow's another day.
You know what it is? It started when Ryan Braun had an opportunity to give me, a casher on the Milwaukee team total over earlier this week, and give me a casher on Milwaukee -1, and he had just a horrific at bat. And you were like, I watched that. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And I was like, I thought that was like a Shakespearean portent. I was like, man, this ain't going to be the best week for me betting wise, and it certainly turned out that way.
He's had some issues from the plate now. I mean, really. I mean, I know you and I think it was Monday or Tuesday night we had the Brewers, and we needed him at a big at bat in a big situation, and he couldn't get the job done. But sometimes you kind of just know, Peter. Sometimes it's kind of
right.
It kind of happens.
2 weeks ago, I kicked fucking ass, big man. 2 weeks ago, I was flat out kicking ass.
I know. You don't have to tell me. I watch the shows. Welcome into everyone. Dylan, Guan, John, Armin, Austin, Robinson, Louis Hernandez, Jim Bean, Austin, Kyle, Cash Action Bets, Rob Job, John Kerry. Welcome in, everyone. We appreciate you chiming in. Please, as always.
Everyone.
Yes.
Love our regular viewers, maybe homo. Absolutely.
Yes, love them as well. Please hit the like button if you if you want to. We'd love to hear your opinion and comment on the show, as long as you don't say anything mean and rude and harmful. We like all your
whatever. I don't give a shit. Say it to me. Say it to me. I'm ready. I got my A game going right now. I'm drinking Red Bull, baby. Let's go. Say whatever the fuck you want, fuckers.
Say whatever you want, he says, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into it, Peter. First things first, let's start here. Joe Duffy and I did the right side of campus day. Shout out to the legend from offshoreinsiders.com, Joe Duffy. Nationals and Padres. And I think, Peter, the big question was how long would Max Scherzer go in this game? We always have that concern that the Nationals bullpen is going to blow it, but he went pretty much the whole game. 8 2/3 for Max Scherzer. Coda Glover comes in and gets an out, and a really surgical performance tonight. Peter, it's pretty interesting. Coming into this game, over his last 3 outings against the Padres, Max Scherzer, 31 strikeouts, adds 13 tonight. Just dominating the Padres. And this is what a pitcher like Max Scherzer does to a team like the Padres. Perdomo actually wasn't bad, but just enough offense tonight. Very solid game, and Max Scherzer really didn't give you much reason to think he wouldn't close it out. 5-1 run line catches in. San Diego's going to have trouble in this series, I think, Peter.
Yeah, listen, this was a game of major debate in the morning show. A lot of people were saying that that Washington was a no-brainer play on the run line, obvious value. Obviously, those guys are all cash. The question is just how high should this line have been? I mean, if it was Washington minus 500, would you say the same thing? Sure. Listen, a lot of people are saying that the Golden State Warriors, I'll tell you, I made a big bet on Golden State just to win this series. I got it at like minus 250 or something. I've been reading a lot of advanced analytics saying that Golden State should be minus 1,000 to win this series. So maybe tonight, Washington should have been minus 500. If that was your estimation, maybe you were right. I saw the line of minus 240, minus 250, and I stayed off of it. Maybe that was the wrong move. I mean, before tonight, Washington was just 5-5, and Scherzer starts. Again, exactly what you said. Question is how deep was Scherzer going to go? And he hasn't been going necessarily that deep in his previous starts. He was giving you a lot of 5 and 6 inning starts. So to everyone who cashed Washington, congratulations. And to everyone who commented on the morning show today that Washington on the run line was a great bet, congratulations. I stayed off it. What was the fair line in this game? I don't know. Maybe the fair line was minus 400. I don't know.
You wonder, though. I mean, obviously, pointing out about Scherzer 5-5. I mean, I wonder, though, how many times he had to lead when he went out of the game and the bullpen blew it. I mean, this is a team that's blown 8 saves. Look, I mean, I guess I don't put a ton into that win-loss record just because it's kind of a stat that's a little skewed, as are most stats. Right. I think we can agree with. Right. But again,
who do those come against? Right. Yeah.
Sure. Just a surgical performance though tonight from him, and this is a team he is just totally dominated. Boom. How's Big Peter tonight? Someone's asking you about Big Simon. Pete, are you actually getting smashed tonight, or is that an oversized Red Bull? I guess it is a Red Bull, right, Peter?
I'm not getting smashed. This is just a Red Bull. I'm just saying that listen, Red Bull is very unhealthy for you, but it fucking works. You know what I'm saying? So point is, I'm ready for your comments. Whatever comments you got, I'm ready for it. I don't drink Red Bull that much because it is, as people who watch the hot dog eating contest video that we did, I'm very health conscious. I know what's good for you and what's bad for you, and Red Bull's bad for you, but it works. So,
Yeah, by the way, I wanted to kind of bring up a little a comment that was mentioned today. I heard on the chat box in your show this morning, and I want to thank you, Peter. You stuck up for me a little bit. I don't know if it was sarcastically or what, but I don't eat hot dogs. That's a great point by Matt DeSaro. I do not eat hot dogs. I got to be honest, Peter. I actually eat very good. I don't eat particularly bad. I don't eat any like fast food like a McDonald's. I don't eat that. I don't eat any of that. My problem is I eat too much bread, pizza, pasta. I live in Philadelphia. I mean, we got a lot of good food here. It's difficult.
That's actually not the biggest problem. Really, is genetics. And I've done a study. I'm not a health nut, but I'm fascinated by science in general, and I'm very interested in in the human body and in biology in general. And the fact is that people respond to different foods and different habits, very, very differently. And I'm relatively in shape. And in fact, people sometimes ask me if I haven't worked out since I was like 16 years old, and I don't eat particularly. I mean, I eat little healthy, but not super healthy. I basically eat whatever the hell I want. It's mostly genetics, and it's mostly genetics, and obviously the Western diet is not a healthy diet. All that refined crap is not healthy for anyone, no matter what your genetics are. But no, I believe you. I believe you, big man. I believe that you are a relatively healthy eater, certainly relative to the rest of society. That's for sure.
It definitely, the camera for me, I will admit, does add some pounds, because I did look at I did look at some videos that I did with you, like, I don't know, 6-8 months ago back during football, and I can't believe I've gained this much weight. So it's definitely, I think.
But there is a question. There is a question for you, big man. Listen, I'll tell you right now. I love doing videos with you. You seem like you definitely do your research. Everything's gone well so far since I've done videos with you from day one. Now, if you suddenly come in like Lavelle Crawford and you're freaking 130 pounds, is that going to take away the magic for you?
That's what my mother pointed that out, actually. My mom, actually, I remember 2-3 years ago when I was kind of really getting into being a handicapper, I was really kind of taking it more seriously. I had to come up with a name, and she pointed that out. She gave me that name, and I thought, that's a pretty good name. I was kind of a stocky guy, like college sports, and yeah, it worked. But now I kind of have established the big man kind of name, and I don't know if I could still be a big man on campus if I'm not really a big man anymore. But no, hey, who knows?
You definitely can be. I mean, I remember when, there's a lot of rappers over the years who started out big and then lost weight, and they all, it was totally cool. Everyone adapts, and the magic is not lost. So I think
know when Fat Joe lost a ton of weight, and we still called him Fat Joe. So
totally, exactly.
Part of the
Joe
game.
Lost a ton of weight. A little bit, pretty much all of them did. There were a bunch of the fat boys lost a bunch of weight. So totally. For sure.
Pirates, Peter, get crushed again. And was anyone surprised when Chad Kuhl gave up 5 runs? I wasn't, surely. Well, Jacob deGrom was fantastic tonight. A very good performance by 2 pitchers tonight in the NL East. deGrom goes 8 1/3, Scherzer 8 2/3. They needed deGrom to go deep in this game, because they finally kind of needed a night where their bullpen just didn't get, had 5 or 6 pitchers in it. A really nice performance. And you know what, Peter, is funny about this series? Joe Duffy called it. Sometimes, you're going to have to get in bed with some of these fleas here. Some of these teams that you don't really want to back or lay 150 with. But, the writing's on the wall when Matt Harvey and deGrom pitches. Look, the talent's there. It's just, can they put it all together? Can they go deep in a game? I would have probably bet first 5 here. But, again, a very nice performance from Jacob deGrom.
Well, I wound up taking, full disclosure, who gives a shit? I wound up taking Pittsburgh a little bit just because the line tempted me. Kuhl is one of these youngsters who, I mean, if you look at his past performance, you see a lot of youngsters with this profile, very, very, very up and down, which means that in general, you want to be taking underdog lines, either underdog money lines or run lines. Definitely, if I was going to take the Mets here, for sure, I would have taken the run line. And deGrom, there were reports of him having a blister. Now, obviously, he was fine. But those blister reports are very, very concerning to me. So at the underdog line, I did take Pittsburgh. If it had been plus 110, I wouldn't have bitten. But when it got up to plus 130, I wound up biting, and I wound up taking a small loss on that one. And I definitely think that going forward, we're going to see a lot more of this from Kuhl, a lot more of ups and downs. I mean, when his control is there, and tonight he did have good control, but he gave up home runs. He's going to have some good 5 and 6 inning starts, and he's going to have more starts just like this. So in general, I would look for volatility coming up with Kuhl, and that can be something you bet into. Meaning you take underdog lines. Either take a run line when you're betting on him, or take a run line when you're betting against him. Take underdog lines, and I think you'll do well for sure.
Mets now 30-10 to the over. Masterful stuff.
Yes. Who saw that? I definitely did not see that coming.
Well, no, and how could you? I mean, you look at over the last couple of years, they've always been known as they can't hit. Their pitching's fantastic. They get a good bullpen. I remember like months on end last year. I mean, every score was like 3-2, 2-1. You look at some of these over trends. I mean, just amazing. 14-4 to the over on the road. 25-8 against right-handed pitching. Just really masterful stuff as far as overs are concerned. If you just bet that every game, I think you'll be good to go, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, what happened was, all their big name starting pitchers got injured. Their bullpen turned out to be terrible, and a lot of those guys in the lineup started to be good. Conforto, that was sort of predictable. A lot of people were high on him, legitimately so. And then Jay Bruce and Neil Walker and all those guys started hitting, and starting pitching went down the drain. Bullpen was terrible. Lineup was more productive than people were expecting, and there you go, overs. But there has been a league in all of baseball. There's been a big over trend this year. I mean, in all of baseball, I think overs are hitting at about 53.5%, might even be at 54%. And that is, league wide, American League and National League. So in general, as we know, it's been more often. There's been, more scoring this year. People were talking about the juice ball, and in general, overs have cashed 54% in all of baseball to date. And I'm not sure if that's going to revert back that much in the summer months. So we might see, the totals adjust up a little bit, the scoring adjust up a little bit, even more so. So we might see that trend continue league wide in MLB.
I don't think it's gonna matter too much. I mean, but I think the ball's only gonna go, fly up more. I mean, summer months are usually good for overs. We all know that. A couple things here on the chat box. Guys, take Errol Spence tomorrow in boxing. Jive Man, we will go over that tomorrow on the right side of campus. I won't say I agree or disagree. I love Errol Spence, but I also like Cal Brook as well, and he's at home. Let's shout out Wazzy. His third grade nephew, I believe it is listening in. I'm not sure, Wazzy, if he should listen to the show. We do some things and say some things that maybe you don't want him to hear, but shout out to Jake, his third.
But big man. Kids grow up much, much faster than they did. I mean, a third grader in 2017 is equal to an eighth grader when we were in that age. So,
that's a good point. So what's up, Jake? Thanks for listening in, my friend. Don't go into sports betting. You'll become like me, and you probably don't want to become like me. Zach Jones, welcome. Zach Jones, the editor-in-chief over at SBR. Welcome in, my friend. Armin, Dylan, Cash Action, everyone out there, welcome. Hey, Peter, what's your favorite Wu-Tang song? Someone asked that. I think Vig song.
My favorite Wu-Tang song. Oh, man.
Gotta go Cream, right?
Everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. I mean, I guess that's about it. The lyrics and the message. I mean, Wu-Tang, I remember when Wu-Tang came up. I remember when they first started, and one of my friends, one of my compatriots was like, I have my new favorite act. I was like, what is it? He was like, and he couldn't even say it. He was like, Wu-Tang Clan. It was so weird, he couldn't even say it. I remember when they came up, and I was like, all right, I'll check them out. And as soon as I saw it, I knew those guys were the absolute real deal.
Shout out to Shaolin.
Wu-Tang song, Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all.
Shout out to Shaolin, Staten Island, stand up. Let's get to the next one here, Peter. And look, I mean, I don't think we have to spend much time on this one. The Phillies can't hit, which I think we all pretty much knew. Yet another just disgusting performance. 3 hits for the Phillies. They can't hit Tim Edelman tonight, Peter. And I know you're laughing because it's just so pathetic. But Peter, I did a little digging because that's what I do over at MOCWins.com. I'm a big info man, and you look at this AAA team for the Phillies, who many people have talked about. I've talked about. They're just on fire right now. The Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs is their name, and they're not very far from me here. And I know plenty of my friends go to some of their games once in a while. You look at their number 4 prospect, Peter, in the Phillies organization, Nick Williams. He's hit 5 home runs in 9 games. Why is he not up at the big league club?
That's a good question. That's an organizational question. But I will tell you this. One of the best things that you can do as if you're following MLB all year long is to be aware of the top prospects on like FanGraphs. They always talk about the top prospects and who's likely to succeed and how much they're likely to succeed. When those guys come up, it can make a big difference real fast. We saw it with Trevor Story with Colorado last year. I mean, every year there's a bunch of prospects who come up and make a big difference immediately. And if you're on top of that, if you jump on that train right as it's leaving the station, which is not that hard to do if you just if you're just aware of the roster moves that teams do. That can be one of the best ways to find soft lines in MLB for sure. So definitely look for that. Definitely look for it with Philly. Absolutely agree with you, big man.
Yeah, it's doesn't make much sense. I guess they're kind of just like every other team in this town, tanking for whatever exactly. Next one, New York Yankees are in a situation. They've actually just lost to the Oakland Athletics, and I want to get into this fucking team because they're on my shit list right now. Because look, I didn't bet on them tonight, but I'm a fan of this team, and you had them tonight, right, Peter? Did you say you had them, or?
I had Oakland, but I completely lucked out. I had Oakland. I had Oakland, and I had them on the team total over, and it was purely a fate of Tanaka, and Tanaka obviously had a phenomenal start. I wind up getting lucky at cash with the big money line on the underdog, and I wound up getting a push with the team total over. But if you had told me, from before the game started that Tanaka was going to throw 7 shutout innings and get 12 strikeouts, I would have put my entire friggin' bankroll on the Yankees. So I just totally lucked out.
I mean, it's just pathetic. I mean, Tanaka actually gives you just a fantastic game, and I knew he kind of would because Oakland's lineup, I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, you're on the road. It's, the Yankees are so good at home. We all know that. You kind of just figured at some point Tanaka would get it figured out, and tonight he did. 7 1/3. He gives it just 1 earned run. Strikes out 13. He was just on tonight. Next fucking Tyler Clippard comes in, and again, Clippard's had a very good year, but I mean, just gets crushed. And, the big problem for me, it wasn't exactly Clippard, which, he's going to have a bad game, but he still had a fantastic ERA. The problem with the Yankees is, and I said it when it happened, I know you can go to Betances. That's a great closer. You're not going to get any shit out of me on that. The problem I have is when you take Chapman out of the lineup and out of that closer role, now Betances gets moved up, and you have someone that's not going to be able to pitch in the 7th and 8th inning. They have to throw in some other shithead that belong in the major leagues. That's the problem you have. It's a great thing to do. You always have him where, if Chapman does get injured, you can put Betances in there. That's just great. But what are you going to do now in the 7th and 8th inning? Jonathan Holder is not a guy I really trust, and Tommy Lane's not a guy I trust. That's what I mean when I say, okay, I get Chapman's out, but what do you have after Betances and Chapman? You have a lot of guys that are hit or miss like any other bullpen, but the cohesiveness was thrown up, Peter, and Chase fucking Headley needs to go away. I mean, go the fuck away already. I mean, he comes up in a situation tonight, hits into a goddamn ground double play. You look at his average, Peter. I mean, it's just plummeted. And that April he had was obviously a mirage. I mean, we're never going to see that again. In May, he's hitting 153. Bring Gleyber Torres up already, for God's sakes. Bring someone else up. I mean, this guy sucks. He sucked ever since he came over. You should have never traded Yangervis Solarte away. What a joke of a trade. This is a bad player. He's not going to get any better. And if you think he's just going to do something in April, no offense, Jardy, but April doesn't mean any fucking thing. It's long-term not working. He's hurting this team game after game.
Certainly wouldn't disagree with anything that you just said. Obviously, yes, Chapman is a big loss for the Yankees. I'm still not ready to fade them yet. I think obviously they're not going to be.
I'm not either, but it's just
no, I hear you. I don't think they might not be top 5 like they have been up till now, but I think they might still be profitable going forward because I think that lineup is obviously for real, and I'm not sure the market is going to, especially with Chapman now, the market is going to catch up that much with them. So I would expect the Yankees to continue to be profitable going forward, not double digits necessarily, but single digits, yes. So, but again, you got to pick your spots tonight. Who knows? I mean, this is the way baseball goes. I lucked into a win there, and my analysis game was way off, but I lucked into a win anyway. So it's, this is the way MLB handicapping goes. It's par for the course.
Nothing wrong with that. Just an idiotic move by Troy Lavello, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, great point by Tho Marino here on the chat box. I mean, look, Godley has been cruising. I mean, he's only given up 6 hits. He gives up, he has 84 pitches, and you take him out. And what is that all about? I mean, what are you doing?
The managers have their reasons, and obviously they're looking.
Come on, 84 pitches. He's cruising.
He's still a youngster. I'm sure they have their reasons. I don't know exactly what the reason would be.
That's a pussy move. I'm so sick of that youngster stuff. I mean, what are you up for the big leagues for? You're there to play and to pitch. What are we waiting on for? Like, what are we waiting for?
I'll tell you, this is not friggin' the 1970s, okay? It's 2017, and we have to treat people with kid gloves, including major league pitchers, safe spaces, all that crap. You have to be very, very careful. They're delicate. Everyone's a friggin' snowflake, including major league pitchers.
Good idea, because fucking Jorge De La Rosa comes in and serves up a home run. By the way, Peter, interesting story. Have I ever told you the story about Jorge De La Rosa that I have?
No, what's that?
All right, well, very random, but on Twitter, I don't know how much you know, but I'm pretty rude as far as on Twitter with like players. Like if they do something stupid, I call them fucking idiots, like they suck at, whatever. And
Nice.
there was for me, Jorge. There's a couple guys, Buck Farmer's on the list. All sorts of different guys. And Jorge De La Rosa has been on my list for a while. I've always, because he's always sucked. He's never been any good. And so some night I was just going in on Jorge De La Rosa about how bad he was. It was back when he was with the Rockies, and I get this tweet from a woman named Maria De La Rosa, and I'm just like, and I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe this is like a fan of his or something. And I look him up, and it's his wife.
Okay. That's a good woman right there, though.
Yeah. And I was like, at the end of it, she was like, saying like, you shouldn't be so rude. He's trying. And I said, you know what? I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe I should clean up what I'm doing because, if it was me, like my mother would stick up for me. If she saw a troll bothering me on the internet, she would stick up for me. You know what? I'm acting like all these other dickheads that bother me, and I felt bad. I felt bad about it, and
I think that considering how much money these guys make and the pensions that they get and all that stuff, don't feel bad about it. I mean, they're the least people. They're some of the people you should feel bad for the least. Those guys are they're publicly. I mean, this is what we do. Like I always say, like my main job is to just take abuse. From I'm willing to put my face out there and take any abuse that comes my way. And these guys are the same way. They're very well paid. I say don't worry about it. Go for what you know, son.
Yeah, just I do like her passion. I have to, but again, I was thinking like, how did she find this? What was she like Googling her husband's name or something? It was just kind of.
It's a good woman. I think she probably loves her husband, keeps up to date with what people are saying about him, with his career. She's probably keeping up to date with every week and every change.
Yeah, but you would have to physically type his name in to see that. Like,
have she found your tweet? You mean?
Yeah, she would have to go up to the search bar and search her husband's name and go through, that's kind
I would assume she does that at least 2 or 3 times a day, if not more.
That's kind of lame, I think.
That's a good woman right there. What else are you going to do with
her? Don't worry about what other people say. I don't know, but okay. Listen, I think it's kind of weird, but again, I do respect her for doing that. It was something that,
I would love to have a woman who went on like YouTube and like slammed everyone who slammed me and all the comments.
Well, maybe this new woman will do that for you. That new girl, maybe she'll do it.
Oh yeah, she's got to give the gift of gab. That's for sure. So I think that's a good woman. I love that.
I've Googled Peter's name many times, says Vig Simon. I would imagine you would. That doesn't surprise me. I'd love to see your search history, Vig Simon. That would be quite funny, I think. Another shitty team of the night, the fucking Cleveland Indians. They ruined what could be a big night for me, and it pisses me off because the Red Sox got the job done easily against the Seattle Mariners, and Cleveland just continues to be irritating. I mean, they're a team that they're pretty much 500. You look at their lineup, and it's like, other than Lindor and Brantley, I mean, what do you really have in that lineup? I mean, Kipnis has been a wreck. Encarnacion's been a wreck. Jan Gomes has been a wreck. Who the hell is Zimmer? Daniel Robinson? I mean, Robertson, what is that? I mean, just not anything good. And Mike Clevenger kind of came back to earth. And I want to shout you up, Peter, because I'm pretty sure you said he would regress a little bit, and he did. He kind of is who we thought he was.
Yeah, and I did actually wind up going in on this one very late. I did take Casey there. It was very late, and it was basically what you said. Cleveland should not be that big of a favorite really against anyone until further notice. And I admit that I was dead wrong about Cleveland on day 1 of the Major League Baseball season. But by the time day 15 came around, I was onto them as a significantly overvalued team. At some point, I am looking for signs that they might pick it up offensively and start to become a team with some betting value. I wouldn't be surprised if in July or August they're top 5 in the MLB ROI standings. But as of right now, Yeah, anytime they're a big favorite, basically against anyone with something to recommend them, I'm gonna be against them. I agree with you. They should not be that big of a favorite in any situation, I think.
Yeah, I mean, last year they were, really a team for just, it seemed like weeks and months on end where they were covering a ton of run lines. You were just, but again, you're not going to have that every single year, year after year. But, right now they're just kind of stuck in the mud. Toronto and Texas, an interesting game here. A big grand slam given up by AJ Griffin, which I don't think anyone was surprised by. I mean, I think we can agree AJ Griffin is definitely overachieved this year with some of the stuff he's been doing. And then he goes out with an injury. And, that's kind of been a growing theme this year in the major leagues. You get crushed and go out with an injury. Now,
and there's been a lot more injuries to pitchers in general this year because they're throwing harder and they're exerting themselves more. So I think that's going to be a trend that's going to continue in baseball, if not get worse in upcoming years. And in this series. I said at the beginning, I'm kind of looking for. I'm a believer in Toronto now, especially when they get with Tulowitzki and Donaldson coming back, and I'm definitely looking. Toronto might sweep this series. I thought they had value tonight, and I think they might have value on Saturday and Sunday. The pitching matchups escape me as of right now. Let me check. What are the pitching matchups again for Saturday? For Saturday, Toronto and Texas. Oh yeah, Estrada against Darvish. Estrada has been very, very reliable, although he is coming off of a high pitch count. So tomorrow might not be a good spot to take Toronto. But let me just check the Sunday. Oh, that's right. Sunday, Cashner against Biagini. Now I don't know what the line is going to be for that one, but unless it's in the stratosphere, which I don't think it will be, I'm going to be on Toronto on Sunday for sure, baby.
Yeah, Biagini pitched decent.
And Cashner is an auto fade for me at the moment,
Yeah, him and Griffin, I think, are going forward.
Yeah.
But Toronto, again, with a pretty nice performance. They've actually picked it up lately offensively. And, are they looking like the team that they've always looked like? No, but they're getting there. We mentioned Milwaukee, Arizona. Houston with a very nice pitcher performance here by not only their starter, Joe Musgrove, but their bullpen. Chris Davinsky comes in, gets bases loaded, no outs, and gets out of it with nothing. Nothing happens. Great job by him. Not a great job getting into that situation, but getting out of it was the big thing. And Houston just continues, Peter, to be a very good play. I am on them tonight. This is a premium play I sent out. I just right now, the Baltimore Orioles, and I've mentioned this for a number of weeks, I love them at home. But right now, on the road, with some of their issues, hitting the baseball, their pitching rotation hasn't been good to me all year. They're not going deep in games. Their bullpen is a fade for me right now. I think they're going to struggle in the next couple of series. I mean, they get the Yankees and the Red Sox after this. Houston right now, or Baltimore right now, is a fade. I mean, they've lost 9 of 11 games, Peter. And this is kind of one of those stretches that teams go through.
Yeah.
But, they just can't.
I mean, they have a stark home road discrepancy, a home road split, and I think it was pretty telling that they went up against Minnesota, who was the top team on the road in baseball, when Baltimore was a top team at home, and of course they got swept. Tonight, of course, I was way off on this one. I love the over at 9, and I'm taking a big loss on that one. But tomorrow, again, I'm looking to fade Wade Miley, so I'm probably going to be on a Houston -1 as well as the Houston team total over likely. So I'm totally agreeing with you there. I'm a little bit concerned that there's no overnight line, so we'll see what the line does come out as. It might be, it's possible to be in the 220s. I don't know exactly where it's going to land, but I'm looking to be on Houston tomorrow. And then on Sunday, let me remind myself what the pitching matchup is. Oh, yeah. It's Lance McCullers against, I believe it's Ubaldo Jimenez, right?
I believe so, yes.
I think it's Jimenez against McCullers. Again, not sure what the line will be for that. Houston will be a big favorite. Might be in the stratosphere, but if not, again, I'm probably going to be on Houston there. I'm agreeing with you. At least in this series, I'm looking to fade Baltimore for sure.
Sure. A couple others here. I actually put a small plan here on the Tampa Bay, Minnesota under. I also had no score first inning, which I don't normally do. But look, Chris Archer's numbers against the Twins speak for themselves. Hector Santiago's been very good. I mean, tonight he wasn't terrible. I did give up 3 runs. Bullpenner gave up 1, but this is looking pretty good. I mean, barring some crazy shenanigans here late, these both are going to come in. One already obviously came in, but yeah, It just seemed too high to me, 9. I didn't really understand that total. I think I got it 9, but again, Minnesota kind of asleep here, and Chris Archer's numbers, Peter, against the Twins are really effective, and I kind of just figured this would be a low scoring game, and it has been so far.
All right, well, good for you. Good for you, big man. I was all over the over. I hit the over early yesterday. I did get 8. So once again, I beat the closing number on a total in MLB by a half run, which is really an impressive thing to do. Once again, looks like I'm going to take yet another loss. These, a lot of these line moves in baseball, not just on totals, but on sides, had just been wrong this past week. Yeah, I thought that, I was expecting, Santiago started off the year great. I thought he was overachieving, and I was expecting his regression to continue here. And Archer is a little bit of a wild card. Obviously, he's awesome. Whether he gets hit or holds the other team down, he gets big strikeout numbers. But half of his starts, he does give up a bunch of runs. It was a low total at 8. Minnesota's offense is one that I'm generally, a little bit high on. So I took a shot with the over 8. Got a great number, beat the closer by a half run. Looks like I'm going to eat another big loss with that one as well. Although who knows what's going to happen these last 2 minutes.
I did not know you were on it. Hate to rub it in. Jeff, were you on under in Rays Twins or just first inning? I was on both. This is a funny comment here. Vanessa Jones, which...
Hey, big man.
Yes, sure.
Rays Twins is now 5-1, so don't count your money yet, pal.
Well, I'm not counting it. I'm just saying. I mentioned, barring any shenanigans, hopefully we don't see any. Vanessa, I
hope it lands on 8, so I get a push and you get a win with your under.
There we go. Vanessa Jones, which your name already kind of makes me wonder. Hey, guys, do you know any girls that bet on sports? No, I don't know many, but I wonder the validity of you actually being a girl, because we do have some interesting characters on here. So if you are a girl, we appreciate having you. We don't have many girls on here, so when we do, it's fairly surprising. Do you know many girls on here, Peter? I don't see many usually.
I'll tell you, and I noticed this as soon as I started to get into sports betting seriously. I noticed that there are fewer women actively involved in sports betting than literally in any other area of life. Even all the areas of life where you think women wouldn't be involved, like, I don't know, like nerdy shit, like physics or Star Trek, or violent shit like guns or whatever. Even all those areas of life have at least like 15-20% women involved. Sports betting has like less than 1%. It's crazy because a lot of women do like gambling and a lot of women do like sports, but for some reason there's like very, very few women involved in sports betting. Like, think of anything else that you think of as a predominantly male activity. I guarantee you that activity has 100 times more women involved in it than sports betting. It's weird.
There aren't many women in it. I know that, but there are seemingly women in a lot of other things, a lot more than sports betting. A funny comment by Vic Simon. I mentioned the Vanessa Jones, and he goes, "Hi, Ross Benjamin." That's pretty funny comment. I guess he thinks Ross is maybe trying to go covertly into the channel here. But
love your bigger yes homo. But yeah, when you think about that, there's a lot of women who love poker. There's a lot of female professional poker players. So even poker, there's a ton of women. There's a lot of women who love gambling and a ton of women who like sports, But for some reason, there's no women who are into sports betting at all.
There's only one NASCAR driver that's a woman. That's kind of
right. But there's a lot of women who are into NASCAR even, but just not sports betting. It's just weird.
Sure. No, I hear you on that. Let's do one more here. Dodgers and Cubs, scoreless, top second. Interesting pitching matchup here, Peter. Alex Wood against Jake Arrieta, who, if you're a sabermetric guy, you would believe in Jake Arrieta because his sabermetric numbers are good over his actual, regular numbers, you would call them. What are your thoughts on Jake Arrieta?
I'm actually, in my opinion, the jury is still out on Arrieta. I'm not exactly sure what to expect from him going forward. Yes, I have read some analysis and seen some numbers that indicate that he'll be, better going forward. And I've heard some other opinions that are sort of non-statistical, but still advanced as far as his mechanics are concerned, that are expecting him to actually be worse going forward. So for me, the jury is still out. I would be leaning Dodgers in this one, although I didn't bet it, but I almost did. I almost took the Dodgers here. I was on the Dodgers yesterday, I believe. It was I was on Dodgers in the Kenta Maeda game, and I would lean Dodgers here. But yeah, Arrieta makes me nervous right now. I'm not exactly sure what to think about it going forward, to be honest, actually.
Yeah, I'm on the Dodgers myself. I mentioned that on the show earlier. I just thought, I've had a lot of success with them this year at home. I'll continue to kind of, follow that. Again, Arrieta, Cubs, we all know what we got there, but I like what I've gotten from this team at home. It seems like they play every game at home, the Dodgers. I mean, it seems like they're never on the road. I don't know what it is.
That's funny.
Doesn't it? It
Good
seems
point.
like that. Tomorrow, a couple lines here, maybe that I'm considering. I'm kind of looking at, this Ty Blatch again, Peter, for the Giants, but it's hard to get involved with this Giants offense right now. They're just they struggle, but they are facing a righty, which, tonight they faced a lefty, and we all know about them against lefties. But, Fulton Avits has been strong. Both these pitchers have been particularly strong. Maybe you look at the under 8, but that bullpen for Atlanta kind of scares me a little bit. Maybe a first 5 under here. I could see kind of a low-scoring couple innings here. I am looking at Blatch. I've liked what I've seen out of him. Other than one start against the Reds, he has been very effective, Peter.
Yes, definitely. And he's one of these guys who pitches to contact, which I think gets a little bit disrespected by the current, ways that people analyze pitching statistics. I agree with you. Black has gotten some very nice results. And Fulton Avich, as I was sort of like looking for, has been improving this year. And I think this will be a relatively easy assignment. I'm agreeing with you. Tentatively, I'm leaning towards the under. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm definitely leaning that way. And I'll probably be betting that at some point before first pitch tomorrow. I completely agree with you.
Did you say you are on Toronto tomorrow or the next day?
No, I'm waiting for Sunday. Waiting for Sunday to pound the hell out of Biagini.
Because tomorrow, I mean, listen, when you can get Yu Darvish as an underdog, I'm going to look. Yeah. I mean, listen, I mean, Texas – I just want to point this out. Texas struggles on the road. I mean, for all those people. But by the way, I did want to point this out. They're making a little bit of a furious charge here up in Rogers Center. Interesting development here. 7-6. Actually, I think it's over now. I think it just ended. I'm sorry. Am I correct in saying that? Where are we at here? I can't find it. Yes, it just ended. I'm sorry. They made a curious comeback, though. 7-6. So, look, they have been able to hit, at least tonight. I think when you can get Yu Darvish at an underdog price, you have to look at it. I mean, he's been
I mean, he's been having, some control issues recently, which has been the case with him his whole career. It tends not to hurt him as much as it hurts other people. And Estrada is in a spot where he might be, a little bit, more vulnerable than normal for him. Although, of course, he has been great this year. I agree with you. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to stay off that game. I definitely haven't touched it as yet, and I'm probably going to stay off it and just wait until Sunday to fade the hell out of Andrew Cashner.
And again, explain to me, look, I was actually kind of happy that Buck Farmer was pushed to tomorrow because I didn't really want to bet on Mike Pelfrey, but why is Detroit laying 135 tomorrow against the White Sox? I mean,
in which game? Let me see. What's the pitching matchup? Because that series, because of the weirdness with the doubleheader, I didn't even look at it. So
it's the early game, Buck Farmer against Derek Holland. I mean.
Well, Derek Holland, yeah. So Derek Holland has been has been a revelation for the White Sox.
Detroit can't hit lefties, Peter. They're in 224 against lefties, and you're going to put Buck Farmer as a 2. Buck Farmer's a 7 ERA pitcher in his career. He's shit. He sucks.
Right. Let me see. I'm actually seeing Fulmer in the first game. Is it Farmer? Let me check.
Yeah, 210, and then the 5-10 game is Danish against Michael Fulmer, I think.
I'm seeing at the 210 game. I'm seeing Holland against Fulmer.
You might be right. I'm looking at one of the. Yeah, I'm seeing Danish against Fulmer at 5-10 game 2.
Well, I'm seeing Holland against Fulmer. And
well, again, if we, I think whatever we get, if it's Fulmer, if it's Fulmer against Derek Holland, I don't like it. But if it's Buck Farmer against, where are you seeing that, Peter?
I'm seeing it at heritagesports.eu.
Okay, because I'm on. Could have sworn I was just on the MLB website, but we'll definitely want to check that. But you would agree if it is Buck Farmer, you would go with Chicago, no?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. But it's not Buck Farmer, so that's a completely irrelevant question.
Yeah, I mean, at SBRodds.com, it's Buck Farmer and Derek Holland, Peter.
You think I give a shit what SBRodds.com says?
I'm just
but saying. If I tell you it's Fulmer, all right?
It's not fucking Fulmer, man. You got to get a new...
It is Fulmer, asshole. Listen, let's go to pinnaclesports.com.
I don't give a shit about pinnaclesports.com. I give a shit about SBRodds.com. And it's funny because...
All right, let's see.
Listen, Peter, Heritage has the line here on SBR Odds, and it has Farmer against Derek Holland.
Trust me, it's Fulmer, all right? Let's go to pinnaclesports.com.
Right,
click on baseball. Pinnacle Sports, the authority, the most trusted book in all of the world now.
Peter, how would they get that wrong? I mean, it was a canceled game. They're just gonna. And you look at MLB.com, same thing. Farmer Holland.
You think I give a shit what MLB.com says? Let me see here. Pinnaclesports.com. Game 1. Fulmer versus Holland, baby.
Yeah, they're wrong. Just saying.
Yeah, I think they're right.
All right. Seth Hagen, how about Barcelona -2 tomorrow? I don't hate that bet, but Alaves has played better. They're going to play hard in this game. But listen, I'm not betting against them. But I'm not in love with that game. I have other games that I like more. Why would you trust a media site over a book? I'm not trusting a media site, dude. I'm looking at SBR Odds, MLB.com, and every other thing that matters in MLB. But hey, he might be right. I'm just saying, if you get Farmer,
something, big man. You think I give a shit what SBRodds.com says? You think I give a shit what MLB.com says? Right. I give a shit what Pinnacle says and Heritage says. The answer is Fulmer. End of conversation.
All right. Well, tomorrow. Well, listen. Tomorrow, if it's not Farmer, what are you gonna do? Because I'm gonna.
What do you want me to do? This is a free bet. I'll do whatever you want because I know I'm right.
You got to shave.
I'll do whatever you want to do. Sure, I'll shave.
All right.
I'll shave my whole freaking body.
Interesting story here, and I don't know if you saw this on Deadspin. Rashad McCants, do you remember him? Do you remember him at all?
North Carolina, definitely.
Interesting story here. He claims that if he didn't date Khloe Kardashian, he'd have been a $70 million NBA player. And basically the point he made is, I guess he dated her for 8 or 9 months back in 2009. I guess then they broke up in 2008, 2009. Shortly before the T-Wolves unloaded McCants, this was right before they got rid of him. He has not played in the NBA since. He's played in the NBBL and the Lebanese Basketball League, Brazil, France, China, Philippines, and the D-League twice. Since then, Rashad McCants has no longer played in the NBA. Khloe Kardashian, they asked her about it. Her comment was, he's a loser.
Man,
Khloe Kardashian doesn't have. Yeah, she definitely.
Man.
But then you look at Lamar Odom. I mean, his career went just totally down the toilet. And I see kind of where LeBron's coming from when he says, stay away from these people. They're no good. I mean, Chris Humphries, look at him. I mean, he was kind of relevant. He's went nowhere since. Reggie Bush, it seems like since he dated Kim Kardashian, he's went nowhere.
Yes.
Look at their brother. I mean, he can't even put up with it, so he just eats constantly. I don't think it's any secret here. I mean, just amazing. Rashad McCants goes from big man on campus to some loser in the Lebanese Basketball League.
Sure. Women, big man. If I hadn't dated the girl I dated in high school, do you have any clue who I would be right now? I'd be a freaking multimillionaire, fucking famous, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Women can ruin you. The wrong woman can absolutely destroy your life. Got to be careful. Be very, very careful, big man.
Yeah, listen, Chloe's very hot. Her ass is a work of art, but I mean, do you want to miss out on 60, 70 million? I mean, that's all you need because you're going to get it in the NBA. I mean, fucking Evan Fournier got $95 million last year, so you will get paid. Big man and Pistol Pete, would you fade Philadelphia and San Diego every single game for long term? Yes, Lewis, I'm already doing that, and I would continue doing it.
I mean, definitely until further notice is what I say. I mean, things can change, and obviously, as Big Man said, there's a lot of prospects for Philly, and when are they going to get brought up? Maybe September, maybe July, we don't know. When they get brought up, things might change radically for Philly, but until further notice, definitely, yeah.
Big man on campus. I like missionary point of view porn. Why listening to R. Kelly's greatest hits? What does that say about me? It says that uh, you're. What would that say about him? Well, first of all, missionary is kind of a connective position. So you want to be close to your partner, you want to kiss and do that kind of thing. And you're listening to R. Kelly, which is kind of odd. I guess I wonder what R. Kelly you're listening to. Are you listening to like Ignition or like You're the World's
Hey,
Greatest?
big man.
That's what
Hey,
I'm.
big man.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, Minnesota, 5-2, baby. 5-2.
What inning is it? Eighth still, or
Bottom of the eighth, baby. We might get an 8 here.
Yeah, well, keep me posted. But what would you say about that, Peter? I mean, that's kind of a weird. If he's right, I mean, it depends what R. Kelly you're listening because R. Kelly's been a very good R&B artist off the.
I love R. Kelly.
Out of the, in his personal life, he's done some odd things, but he said some interesting music. Yeah, I would definitely pick different music. I don't know what it says about you exactly. I think the missionary says that you like to look at your partner and
yeah.
But
I like missionary. I like R. Kelly. I like "Snap in the Name of Love" and "Trapped in the Closet" was the shit when that. shit
Trapped
came
in the Closet was great. It was like a long.
Hell yeah! And "Snap in the Name of Love" or whatever the hell that song was, that was the shit. I like R. Kelly.
Sure. No, I love it. So Peter, I came across something on Vice. What your favorite porn genre says about you. So I guess basically Vice Canada went to 3 different sexologists and compared theories on why you search for MILFs or cartoon or whatever you watch, and it wasn't really anything that surprised me really. A lot of the stuff was just kind of normal, but would you tell us like what kind of porn you actually like, and maybe we can.
I like real shit. You know what I mean? Amateurs. That's what I'm talking about. I don't like anything fake. I don't like anything acted. I'm into amateurs. Basically anything real. That's what I'm interested in. Yeah. And I love Czechs. Anything involving Czech women, I'm down for that. Love Czech women, Czechoslovakia. They're like low level European chicks, and so they're not like all highfalutin and arrogant like German chicks and French chicks. I like anything involving Czech chicks, and I like anything amateur, baby, and MILFs.
Well, if you're into MILF porn, most would actually equate that to. I guess most psychiatrists would say, you're theorizing about your relationship to your mother, but what it actually means is you're getting excited by the sense of control and being with someone more experienced, which I think we all knew that. But what is it about that older woman that really kind of gets you going? Is the experience aspect? That would be for me.
No, for me, the reason is because when women are younger, a lot of times they tend to be all like neurotic and shit and all like, caring about stuff that doesn't matter. And then when they get older and a little bit more fucked up, that's when they start to become, more sort of real and just like willing to go for it and not giving a fuck and not being annoying like they were when they were younger. And, because it's hard because when women are young, they're all like, super beautiful. They get coddled. All their bullshit gets, catered to, and they get all this attention, and it's hard to handle, as any human being would be. It's not easy when your bullshit gets catered to. Then when women get a little bit older, their bullshit stops getting catered to, and they have to adjust real quick. They become much cooler people, much more down for whatever, and that's why I like MILFs, baby, MILFs.
No, I agree totally. Weird comment here. I mean, I guess they came up with like some of the latest trends in porn. Do you know what they happen to be? Kind of odd.
My guess would be that's interesting. Trends in porn. Yes, I feel like I have a good sense of the direction that humanity is headed in. So I feel like I could make some good guesses on this one, but I don't want to because they're too horrible and gross. I don't even want to say them. I don't even want to, So, but I feel like I in an anonymous quiz, I would probably do pretty well on my predictions there.
Yeah, they came up with just like cartoons are fairly popular right now, and scrawny young men who look like preteens, which is odd.
Humanity is totally doomed, and I think it's reflected in our porn choices in 2017. Yes.
But then they mentioned if you go to a clinical psychiatrist and an author of Ethical Porn for Dicks, David Lee, he'll tell you something completely different. One research concept concept he's introduced is how evolution plays a role in our sexual desires. He used to explain why we might be drawn to cucking, which when men watch their wives have sex with other partners. Lee says the reason someone will be turned on by this is because of the history of mate guarding, the jealousy of competing with another man's sexuality that creates a type of sexual excitement. So
I think that's sick as hell. But hey, listen, whatever people are into, I just I don't know, man. I think that humanity's technological advancements are way outpacing our, emotional development, and it's going to end in disaster.
I guess it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I know, like when I was, like whenever I would walk into a club, right, with a bombshell, because that's what I grab, are bombshells. Like when other guys look at her, it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but it's like I wouldn't want to like give them to her and give them her and be like, yeah, go ahead and get with her. I don't really. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Nina Hartley, the queen of MILFs. She's getting a little up there for me. Brandy Love is definitely my kind of thing for sure. If Pete shaves his mustache for a woman, he's going to get cucked, man.
Yeah, it's a cuck move, isn't it, or something like that? I don't know. When I heard about that whole cuck trend in porn, I was a little bit surprised by that. I was like, is that really something people are into? But I guess it is. I guess it's pretty big. That took me a little bit by surprise when I first heard about that. Damn,
some of the
guys out there, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Vig Simon, but Vig, you actually came you kind of I'm ending the show with this. You came up with something that kind of I thought about. I was thinking about Peter. He mentioned like some of the older people that have been at SBR that I kind of forgot about, and there were some that I remembered, and I was like, wow, they were pretty good. I forgot about them. Like, do you remember Dave Golikov?
Yes, Dave Golikov. We used to have fun with him for sure. He was from AskMen.com, and he used to hand out advice to guys on all sorts of ways to be a better man and to have a better life in general as a man. He was an advice giver for AskMen.com, I believe.
Do you remember Indian Cowboy?
Oh, of course. Indian Cowboy is still around. Indian Cowboy, an interesting character. There's a lot there that I won't get into right now. But yeah, of course, Indian Cowboy is still around. He might be coming back at some point for sure.
Yeah, I actually always liked his NBA stuff. It was always pretty good. Two other ones.
Yes.
How about Justin Bat? We've talked about him. Whatever happened to him?
Oh, he's still around. He's still around.
He's doing his website, and it was out of order. It wasn't up anymore.
Is that true?
Yeah, I looked up in IlluminatiSports.ca, and it's not up anymore.
Well, maybe he went private. Maybe he was doing so well that he doesn't want.
His Twitter, like the last tweet was like 2 years ago.
All right. Well, maybe he went private. I mean, sometimes when guys do so well, they they start to go private, and they're like, listen, I can't do this publicly anymore. I'm gonna have a small group of clients who pay big dollar for my positive EV picks, and that could be what happened to him.
That's what I do now. And one other one. He's a personal friend of mine. I miss him. Brandon Shively.
Brandon Shively. I'll tell you what. Brandon Shively had some opinions that I always respected, and he was one of those guys who, a bunch of guys that I do videos with. Some guys it's like, prove it. Give me some winning picks, or I'm not going to be a believer in you. Brandon Shively was one of the guys who's just analysis I always listen to closely, whether his picks wound up winning or losing. A lot of times I wound up agreeing with him, and a lot of times his analysis of the team was something that I kept in mind with regards to future games that team was playing. I love Brandon Shively. He certainly had a unique presentation, shall we say, but his analysis and his information I always found quite useful for sure.
Do you want to hear a impression of Brandon Shively that I do?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me if you think it's good. Hi, my name is Brandon Shively, EverydayInsiders.com. One other thing I had to mention, Peter, I found a video today that and I've mentioned this to you. I think it's possibly one of the best videos I've ever seen on SBR, where it was, and I don't know if you remember this video specifically, and I don't know if you remember any of the videos that you've done, but there was one particular video with Jeff Cadillac you did. It was Carolina Panthers against the I believe the Atlanta Falcons, and before Jeff even got into his breakdown, you basically said to him, like, don't list all the players, don't and you were kind of mean to him, but it was just like funny in a way. And he goes, He goes, "Hey, hold on, Peter. Who's doing the breakdown here?" And like it was really funny, like really funny.
Now you're making me miss Jeff Cadillac a lot, man.
Yeah, it was.
I miss that guy. I used to love doing videos with him.
He's actually still on the radio. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of people who think that he is immortal and is a vampire and, has never been dead and will never be dead. A lot of mystery. I have no idea where the hell he came from. Just got an email from him one day, and it was just coming through the email. I was like, this is a guy I should be doing videos with, and we did. And, it was definitely draining to do videos with Jeff Cadillac. It took a lot of preparation. Doing them was stressful, and then the editing afterwards was stressful. It was definitely a draining experience, but totally worth it. It was always the highlight of my week, and I miss the guy, man. Hopefully he'll be back. He may be back. You never know what the future holds, big man.
Well, you could actually catch Jeff Cadillac on AM 970 up in New York. The Answer, it's called. You can catch Jeff Cadillac. I'm trying to find out when he's on the air, but we should call in at some point, Peter, and try to get him on the air. There it is, actually. You can catch Jeff Cadillac every Sunday, 10 o'clock p.m. to 10:30 p.m. On AM 970 up in New York. So he's got a 30-minute show, which you can catch every Sunday. So we might have to look out for that, Peter. But very funny, very good. I miss Megan Rochester. Yes, me too. I think we all do. But everyone else, we appreciate you listening tonight. Peter, what do we have on the score in that Twin game?
Let's check it out. My sense is the way the week has gone for me is that probably it ends 5-2, but let's check it out. 5-2 at top of the ninth. So, we'll see. Who knows?
Well, maybe I'll get lucky, or maybe you'll get lucky. Who knows? But Peter, before we go, I want to thank you for coming on. It was actually pretty fun. It actually sucks that Donnie Wright says to come back. No, I'm just kidding. But
Donnie Wright everyone talks about that his leans are that his analysis is very valuable. Is that correct? Because I don't have time to watch those shows, but he's
Donnie is a guy that he does a lot of the hosting, and he does it in a manner where he breaks everything down, and his stuff is good. He did really well in April, and his numbers were fantastic. He's doing real well in May as well, and he spends a lot of time with baseball, and I think he loves it for sure. And,
very nice, very nice. Good for him. We certainly seems like a fine young man with a bright future ahead of him. No question about that.
Yeah, so again, we thank Peter Loshak for coming on. We will try to make this more of a regular thing. Peter adds, always a funny kind of, that yet serious numbers-based approach to everything, and I think you've done a great job. Peter, before we go, do you have a play you want to maybe throw out? Is there low-hanging fruit? I mean, I don't know. Are you on the air tomorrow? You're not on the air tomorrow, I don't think.
For tomorrow, I can tell you what I did bet. I did take a shot with and this might be wrong, but I took a shot with Colorado against Wainwright just because of the low line with Freeland going. It's not I'm not super psyched about having Freeland, but I took a shot at the low line, and I'm also probably going to be looking at Arizona on the first 5 or Arizona on the team total over, depending on weather conditions and lineup and stuff like that. Chase Anderson, definitely a guy that I'm looking to fade in general going forward, and this looks like a decent spot. And once again, Bronson Arroyo against Eichhoff. Cincinnati on the second half is looking like something I'm also probably going to be on. That's about it for now. That's about it for now. There's a lot more on Sunday that looks attractive to me right now. As of right now, the only thing I've hit is I hit Colorado a little bit, I hit Arizona a little bit, and when the lines come out tomorrow, I'll probably take a shot with the Arizona team total over and a shot with Cincinnati in the second half. That's all I've got in mind so far.
Very good. Plenty of stuff. And Peter, is Twitter something you're going to start utilizing more, or?
I think so. Yes, definitely.
Why don't you give that out so people can find you there?
Right. I think it's at P Loshak. I believe my Twitter is P Loshak.
Yeah. Someone asked me the other day what your Twitter name was. Peter, I think it's important at this point. Maybe you get a picture on there.
Okay.
Maybe
I'll get a picture. I'll get a picture.
That way people know it's you, because I know pictures or no profiles, like sometimes people might think they're fake or not real or something.
Okay.
Like that.
Sure. Absolutely. All right. Jeff, I got to go.
Very good. Peter, we'll let you go. Have a good night, buddy.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Yeah, man. Peter Loshak jumping off the air there. I think I was guessing he had someone at the door, which nothing wrong with that. But that'll be it for tonight, guys. We've been on the air long enough. Everyone have a nice night. We'll be back